Another music review for you, and I'm glad to announce that for the year 1989 I have finally reached the #1 spot, and at #1 is The End of the Innocence by Don Henley. So at The End of the Innocence, not Don Henley's first solo outing, I think it's his third, but certainly it was his first big hit album after the death of the Eagles. And as I said, it's my #1 album for 1989. Why is this my choice for #1? Well, it has 4 remarkable songs and a batch of good solid efforts to add. The 4 gems stay with you long after the CD player has been turned off. And the first opens up the album. It's the title track, The End of the Innocence. It's co-written by Bruce Hornsby, and he is on piano. And there's also an exquisite sax solo from Wayne Shorter. Yeah, impressive. But as with all these songs, it's Henley's singing which moves certainly me as I listen and listen again to this song about loss, lost childhood, loss in war, loss in family. You name the loss. This track covers all bases. Next up's the first rock song. It's tidy. How Bad Do You Want It? It has a tight rhythm. But let's move on. The third track is I Will Not Go Quietly. Danny Korchmar's on guitar, and it's certainly not soft rock when he launches into his guitar solo. Wicked stuff. Lyrically, each song has a life message, and here Henley tells us not to give up. Now we're on to the second gem, The Last Worthless Evening. Well, it tears you up as you hear Don tell it. Failed love is always a prerequisite for emptiness. Extremely moving listening to this. It's very Eagles-like. Thought of Glenn Frey for a moment. Henley's voice is wonderful as he pleads with the words, and it's got great harmony vocals. Following that, we have to take our breath, and it's New York Minute. An orchestral masterpiece. It's a dark ballad about life's struggles and how suicide is always an option. It's a moving piece, ideally suited to Henley's vocal mood. There's an excellent muted trumpet solo by Al Garth. Really powerful song. Second half of the album, not so good, but still solid. Shangri-La lightens the mood with the excellent Steve Jordan on drums. The album's littered with notable guests. Mike Campbell from the Heartbreakers, Jim Keltner, Clapton's drummer, and everybody else's drummer, to mention a couple. Next is Little Tin God. It's a little MOR. But next, Gimme What You Got is about greed and corruption, and it has a catchy rhythm. Next, If Dirt Were Dollars is more country rock, with J.D. Souther guesting on vocals. And certainly, it could have turned up on an Eagles album. But finally, we reach gem #4, The Heart of the Matter. And again, it's a ballad featuring some nice guitar work from Campbell, who co-wrote it with Souther and Don. There is some lovely harmony work from Julie and Maxine Waters, adding some gospel work. So if you're thinking, well, he has roughshod over 6 tracks and Praise to the Hilt 4 songs, yeah, but they just make you feel so grateful to Don Henley for the quality. My #1 for 1989. Next up on music reviews, I'm going to take on my top 100 albums of all time. and I've got literally 50 years to choose from. I'm also going to start to do some podcast shows, and I'm hoping to get the first one on 1967. I was 13 years of age. Stay tuned. Comments, of course, YouTube channel, John Vickery. You can also catch this video on Facebook, my personal page at John Vickery. Okay, have fun.